we'll wish you a good summer, and hopefully we'll see you in the fall. Everybody will be okay, so don't worry about your grades or anything. Just try to do as much as you can. Okay, I'm looking at page 141, and I need to have your attention on this one. It's the so-called Lamed Aleph verb, and to do something, there's always a tradition I follow. Before you start something new, always go over something that was done. And so the verb that we're dealing with right now is the so-called Lamed Aleph verbs. I already went over a number of times. Hebrew has different families of verbs. Hebrew has different conjugational patterns. We are staying with the so-called basic pattern of conjugation, the binyan kal, as it's sometimes called, or the pa'al, based upon the vocalization of the verb in the third person masculine singular. When I say the word pa'al, what I have in mind is a regular Shlemian verb, and then everything else is a departure from it. Anyway, the pa'al conjugational form is what we're doing, and the verb we're now looking at on page 141 and following is the so-called Lamed Aleph. Notice the way she phrases it, the pa'al conjugation of a Lamed Aleph verb. She uses the phrase pa'al. That's the way to identify the basic conjugation. And then the verb that we're conjugating is a Lamed Aleph verb, which means the last root letter of the verb is an Aleph letter. Lamed Aleph does not mean other laryngeal letters. If it were other laryngeal letters, then you would say Lamed Aleph, Lamed Ayin, Lamed Hey, Lamed Chet, etc. Again, I think I told you this multiple times. A shleimim is your regular verb, the so-called regular verb. So the word shleimim has that shin lamed mem to it, which means complete or whole. That's another way of using a device. The three root letters of a shleimim verb will stay in the verb no matter what conjugational form you use, past, present, future, infinitive, whatever. Other verb families will be affected by certain letters. So when we say Lamed Aleph, we're referring to the third root letter of the Pa'al to be an Aleph letter. And these are the two verbs introduced here. To do the Shleimim first is important so that you can see the distinction. I take a Shleimim verb, the verb in the present tense, Aniyatahu Shomer. I now take a Lamed Aleph verb, Aniyatahu Koreh. The verb I'm going to play with is Kuf Resh Aleph, the Hebrew verb to read. The verb also means to call. The same three root letters, Kuf Resh Aleph, means to call, calling someone, and it also means to read. I'm working with my own prerogatives. I'm going to take a look at Edna Coffin. She translates the Kuf Resh Aleph only as to read. Again, it has a double meaning. It means to read. It also means to call. And I guess when you think about it, what's the connection between to read and to call? Well, back in the day, when you read something, you basically were calling people to listen to you. They didn't have books. When a Torah is read, the one who reads it is a Baal Koreh. And a Baal Koreh is the master reader who read out loud, who called the people together by reading out loud. So there's a connection between to call and to read. Read was not just simply to read only by your eyes. Okay, as I continue, the feminine singular of Shomer is Shomeret. Shomeret. There's also an alternate form. In addition to Shomeret, it is possible to find Shomera. Shomera. A Shomeret is normally the form we use. Shomera is also used. And now some other aspect. The so-called verb in the present tense is really not a verb. It's not a verb with action. It's also a subject. So the word shomer means to watch. It also is the Hebrew word for a watch person, a watchman. A shomeret is a watchwoman, a guardian who's a female. And a shomara, it was an alternate way of saying a shomeret. Either one of these two words are used as a noun. But as a verb, it's used as a verb in the sentence context. So if I say ani shomeret, that means I am a guardian, female, or I am watching, female. Okay, so keep that in mind. When it comes to lamed aleph verb, you have what you expect to be kore'et, like shomeret. But if you look at the chart that she has on that page, the form is koreit. So a lamed aleph verb, feminine singular, the secondless form develops into a long tsere, koreit. Look at the tsere under the resh, followed by the aleph. Nothing is underneath the aleph. The aleph is making that tsere a long tsere. You know that tsere is a medial vowel. I am now adding it as a long vowel. A tsere followed by a yud, a tsere followed by an aleph. That tsere is a long vowel, not a medial vowel. So to break this word into syllables, koreit is CV, the second syllable is CVC, long tsere. The aleph is not a consonant. So that's one distinction we see. A lamed aleph verb, it becomes koreit. On the other hand, if I follow shomara, I can say korah. That's also the feminine singular. She does not bother to show you the korah form or the shomara form. I do. I give you the complete picture. As far as the plurals are concerned, they're identical. Shomarim is your Shleimim plural. Shomarim and Koraim. Again, you read it as Shomerim. You read this as Koraim. Don't read it as Shomrim, which is the tendency of many to say it as Shomrim. Shomerim is Hebrew. Shomerim. CV is the first syllable. Long vowel, open syllable is okay. CI and CVC is the second syllable, with the accent over the long vowel closed. This word is koreim. I cannot tell you how many times I hear Ashkenazim read that word as korim. Anachta korim et sefer. The word is not korim, it's koreim. And then finally, the feminine plural. The feminine plural is shomerot, shomirot, and koraot. So where the lamed aleph differs from a shleimim verb is in the feminine singular. Otherwise, they are identical. So we'll go over to check our chart. She has the same thing. She has korei, she has koreit, and koreim and koraot. And then as far as the infinitive is concerned, again, you take the shleimim infinitive, which is shemor. You add the lamed, shva cluster, lamed with a shvana, attached to a word which has a shvana under it, becomes a chirik. So it's lishmor. The same thing with the word kiro now. In the infinitive form, it's kiro. Add the lamed, shva cluster, and becomes likro. Please keep that in mind. And I guess the point I want to make is something she never brings up. There are two infinitives in Hebrew. There's the infinitive which has the ao. And there's the infinitive, which is the eo. This is the construct infinitive. Construct in the sense that you add a lamed and you break the cluster, which points along with a chirik. The one that's ao does not get anything added to it. It's the absolute infinitive. It's the one that says, I don't need to be told to do. I know what I have to do.
The first one is the second one is absolute. The first one is.
The first one is called the absolute infinitive. This is called the construct infinitive. Absolute infinitive is not shown to anybody. However, today is Tuesday. I purposely put my Torah away because I have to run from class. I should know by now. The Torah should be the last thing you put away whatever you have to do. I have a verse I want to read. The verse was read on Shavuot. The verse was read when you read the book of Ruth. The verse has two different spellings to it. The verse is found in the Aseret Dibrot. The one that's read in the Beit Knesset should be the one from Exodus chapter 20. Not too many days ago, the world heard the Ten Commandments. The verse I'm looking at deals with the Shabbat. Let me find it for you. Zachor et Yom HaShabbat. I'm looking at sentence number 8 of Exodus chapter 20. Zachor et Yom HaShabbat. That same verse is found in Deuteronomy, Shamor. I spelled it this way. The text has Zachor with a long cholam. It's the same idea. The word translates as remember the Sabbath. It's an infinitive form. It's not a command. If it were a command, it would be zichor.
What about zikaron?
Well, zikaron is a derived noun, which means memory. I just want to play with this word. The a-o combination, the a-o, zachor, is an absolute infinitive, meaning it means to do something, but you don't have to be told to do it. You know you need to do it. It's by choice. So both the Zachor, remember the Sabbath, and Shamor, observe the Sabbath, is not a command in the sense as it reads in English. Remember the Sabbath, observe the Sabbath. It is a self-choice to remember, to do, to follow. That's called an absolute infinitive. And the Torah has a Zachor with a Vav. And notice how Edna writes the infinitive here. She has the word likro, and then she has the alternate spelling of likro with a Vav Aleph. That looks like the vocal, the vowelless writing way of writing, the Ketiv Chaser. Yeah. Normally, when you vocalize, you spell it with the Mida Cholam.
You say Kiryat, it's Kiryat Shema. Kiryat, like read is different than this than Kol.
Syriac?
Kiryat Shema.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, I know what you're saying now. Okay, anyway, I just want to point that out to you. Okay, so the Likro follows like Lishmor. Again, the Lamed is the construct. You're constructing something to the infinitive. The one that has a Shvana on the first root letter is a construct infinitive. The one that has a Kamatz under that first root letter and doesn't change it is the absolute infinitive. And then I noticed that Zachor has a Vav rather than just simply Mida Cholam. And let's just double check the one in Deuteronomy. Then I'll take what you're pointing out in a second. The one in Deuteronomy is probably Deuteronomy chapter 5 or thereabouts. It definitely is the word shamor. Just 1 minute. All right, my two friends, just hold right now. Okay, sentence number 12 in Deuteronomy chapter 5, Shamor at Yom HaShabbat. Like the word Zachor, it has a long vav for the O sound. So Shamor, not Shimor, Shamor and Zachor. These are absolute infinitives. Okay, derived nouns from the word to read, the word kriya. Kriya means reading. And again, it's good if you remember some of the basic grammar additions I've given in this classroom. The word kriya is a noun. You always have three states to a noun. The absolute form of the noun, reading or a reading. That's state number one. State number two, add your definite article, hakriya, the reading. And then state number three is reading of the construct, the smichut. And what happens there is that the Kamatsala comes say because of pataktav, kriyat. Kriyat. Kriyat means reading of, kriyat shema, reading of the Shema. Kriyat Torah, reading of the Torah. A Baal Koreh is a master of the reader, a master reader. Again, the word Koreh is not just a verb, treated like a verb, it's a noun. Koreh is a reader. The Baal Koreh is not the same as a Chazan. A Chazan deals more with the melody, deals with the liturgy. Baal Koreh is the master of the reader of the Torah, unvocalized.
So you have absolute, definite, and contract states.
That's right. Every noun goes through those three stages. The definite article, the definite state, you should take the absolute noun, add the hey in front of it. And the construct is the one that you have to play around with. Okay, with that said, notice how she gives you the verb. The binyan is the pa'al, that's the conjugational pattern, also called the binyan kal. The gizra is the family of the noun you're dealing with, it's the laminal verb, and the shorish is the root. All right, with that said, I'm looking now at the sentences she offers. Ani korei sfarim ba'ivrit. I read books. I can either translate it as I am reading, ani korei, or I read sfarim ba'ivrit in Hebrew. Rina koreit, Rina is feminine, so koreit, it's a sefer, reads the book. If you have a direct object that's definite, a definite article in front of it, you precede it with the word et. Et does not have an English word, Hebrew word, an English word rather, to translate it. And then finally, anachnu kore'im sefer basifriya. We are reading or we read a book in the library. Again, the word basifriya could be read as bisifriya or basifriya. The English tells me definite article should be there because it says in the library. So hasifriya, hey gets stricken, the bet takes over the vowel, and basifriya. And then she says, compare the forms of lomed and koreh and the forms of lomed and koreit, and note the differences. Meaning the masculine singular is the same, koreh and lomed. The feminine singular, there's a change. The segos become a tseri in koreit. And then finally, the conjugation of mem tzadi aleph is like kuf resh aleph. They are both lamed aleph verbs. So it's motzei like koreh, motzeit like koreit, motzeim like korim, and motzaot like korot. And then the infinitive, it's mitzo, and then the lamed, the chirik, to break the shva cluster, limso. Okay, that word mem tzadi aleph, that word mem tzadi aleph is a good word to know. Like kuf resh aleph to read, mem tzadi aleph is to find something. And from that word mitzia, or as the Ashkenazim say, a mitzia. A mitzia is a find. A mitzia is a bargain. A bargain. I mean, you expect us to pay $100. It's only $10. It's a mitzia. But mitzia is also sarcastic. What did you bring home? A mitzia? That always happens, my good friend Yirmiyahu, when you are the one who stands out at the table. Your young friend brings you home to meet the family. Oh, don't worry, you're not going to be embarrassed. It's the woman who's called to another room. And she said, or said to her, Isabel, what did you bring here? Yirmiyahu, you listening? What did you bring home? Mitzia? Meaning, what are you, some kind of find? That's how that word mitzia is used. A mitzia. That's why, Ellie, you got to be very careful. You're looking for a little chavera, be very careful. Your parents are not going to agree right away, at all. And so you're age 22 now. It's time for me to say I'm sorry.
We're gonna arrange for the shit. We're gonna do good work with you.
I'm not doing shit.
Where's his heart?
All right, Baruch, you can share notes with. All right, the two of you. Let's get back to the Hebrew. Anyway, the word mitzia. That word to find reminds me also of matzah. The matzah on Passover night. I always think of I'm choking here. I always think of the word to find, matzah. Now, matzah is not spelled the same way as the verb to find. The word to find in the past tense. My apologies for my mouth right now. I gotta pick this up. When you learn the conjugation of verb in the past tense, you'll discover it's not like pa'al, it's not like shamar. It's matzah with a lamed aleph, has a kamatz aleph to it. So that word matzah sounds like matzah. Matzah, the unleavened bread, is spelled mem tzadi hey, and notice the vocalization. And matzah, to find in the past tense, is spelled with a kamatz aleph. But it sounds the same, especially when you break the matzah and you have to find it to conclude the Seder meal. Okay, looking at that time, let's try to at least get finished with some of. Let's try to finish this exercise. All right, Hannah, you begin. No, I'm sorry. Before you begin, let me just do the three examples. Who motzei makom lashevet. He finds a place to sit. All right, that sentence I'm reading, number one. Who is masculine singular. Motzei is third person masculine singular. Makom is a place. Unvocalized, if I didn't have my English, I could easily read the sentence, Hu motzei makom l'Shabbat. He finds a place for the Shabbat. Shabbat and lashevet both look the same without vowels. The verb lashevet is a verb to sit. The verb is yud shin bet, the pei yud verb. So without vowels, looks like the word l'Shabbat. And Dalia motzeit et sefer, and Hein motzaot et habayit. Look at the translation; it fits perfectly. Dalia is feminine, motzeit the book. The word et is used. Hein is feminine, motzaot feminine plural. The house et habayit. Okay, go ahead, Hannah. Read number one.
Yossi Kore Mari Babai.
Okay, Mariv is a Hebrew newspaper, daily newspaper, afternoon newspaper. I think it's still published in Israel. The Mariv newspaper.
Rino Koret Mari Babai.
Good. Continue.
Hamorim Koreim Mari Babai.
I like what she did. She said Hamorim. She didn't say Hamorim.
Hamorim.
You said it right. Don't call me a donkey. The word Hamor. Hamor is a donkey. I cannot tell you how many people call teachers Hamorim, donkeys, asses. It's it's Hamorim with a hay, not a chet. Anyway,
What's the difference in it? A hay and a head?
the hay is a hay, the chet is a chet. The word Hamor is the word for donkey, Hamorim, and the way I spelled it, by the way, is incorrect. It's Hamor in the singular, and you make the word make it plural, and the kamatzi reduced to a hatapata, Hamorim. And Hamoreh is the word hay with the word morim follows. Teachers. Okay, let's just go on with the Hebrew. Hamorim, and then she read it correctly, Koreim, not Koreim, but Koreim, Maribabai. Continue, Hannah.
Hatalmidot Koret Mari Babai.
Very good. Hatalmidah, Koretz, Maribabai. All right, Baruch, continue with the next one.
Ina, uti vena ko, let's see, Koretim. You see, yes.
Rina and
Koretot.
Koraot, right.
Koreot. Okay, so Koreot. Koreot. Koreot, okay. Ma'ariv, Bayet.
Okay, Ma'ariv, Ma'ariv.
Mariv, okay, Bayet.
Bye-bye. The next one.
Okay, so, Professor.
Ha-professor.
Oh, professor. Okay. Yossi, professor. Okay, correct.
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 Yeah, you're saying it, but somehow it sounds a little awkward.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Correct. Have to work on that. Correct. Mariv, bye.
Next one.
Okay, so Anachnu, it'd be Anachnu, refer to my trusted term here. Anachnu Korim,
That's it.
Anachnu Korim, Mariv, bye.
Yirmiyahu, continue. Are you with us, Yirmiyahu? This is the second person plural feminine. Your subject pronoun. Y-O-U in the plural.
Ani,
No, ani is with nun. This is aten.
Atim, Kore,
No, it's a plural feminine, so aten koraot.
Atim Koreot Mari Babai.
By it, okay. Next one is the masculine second person plural. Continue, Yirmiyahu. Okay, Baruch, help him with that word.
Okay, so
Atem. Stop
Atem
right.
is masculine.
Just one. No, don't go any further. Just 1 second. All right, Yirmiyahu, back to you again. Atem.
Atim
Korim, okay. Not Babayit, but Babayit. Babayit. Okay, and then finally the last one, Yirmiyahu. Okay, you have to go over the subject pronouns. All right, Baruch, what was that word?
Okay. He is who and who is she? She is second person feminine, right? Who is she?
Yes.
Who is she? Who is he? Okay, my bad. Okay, so who is he? Okay, so there we go. So who? Kore. Mawe Babayet.
Okay, Ellie, continue with the next exercise.
Okay, I'm gonna read the first example. Yoram lo motze et hamakom.
Okay, Yoram lo motze et hamakom.
So
Now
Yoram-
do the fill-ins. Anachnu.
Yeah. Anachnu lo motzim et hamakom.
Okay, notice what he did there. Anachnu is the word we. It's in the plural, so lo motziim et hamakom. Continue.
Okay. Mi lo motze et hamakom.
Okay, me is the word who. It governs the masculine singular. Lo motze. Continue.
Hem lo motzot.
He-
Motzah? No. Hem is plural.
Haim is plural.
Hem lo motzot.
Haim is masculine though. Hain is the feminine.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it-
hem. So hem lo motzim.
that's right. The word haim, they, is masculine plural. So haim lo motziim is a makom. Take one more.
Rivka lo motzat.
No,
Motzet. Sorry.
Look,
Rivka
lo motzeit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Motzet et hamakom.
If you said it, then I didn't hear it clearly. Okay.
I corrected myself the second time. I said
Okay.
it wrong. at first.
Okay. Rivka lo motzeit is a makom. Hana, continue. Hanashim,
Hanoshim lo mos'im et hamakom.
continue.
Harofeim lo mos'im et hamakom.
Yofi. The next one.
Hamore lo mose et hamakom.
Good.
O hamora lo moset et hamakom.
Yofi. She did either one. That's fine. And finally, the last three. Baruch, Ron, Vigalia.
Ron Vadalia Motzim.
First of all,
Lo Motzim et Hamakom.
okay, why did you say motzim and not motzot?
Well, because it's both male and female.
Okay, as long as there's a masculine Ron, then you go masculine with it. Good. Next one.
Okay, so Dalia Motzeot Dalia lo Motzeot et Hamakom.
Okay, motzeit first of all. Dalia is singular, feminine, so it's motzei, motzeit.
Okay. Then a tem is they
Atem is you first of all.
or a tem is you masculine, right?
Right.
And you masculine. Okay. A tem lo motzei et hamakom.
Again, if Atem is masculine, you in a plural, it's not motzei,
Or motzeim.
motzeim, motzeim. All right, people, on that note, we'll see everybody on Thursday.
Alright.
And
Last
try
class.
to do your work a little bit at home now. Okay. We'll
Wait,
get there.
Thursday is the last class this week?
I don't know about everybody. This is the last week of classes.